Hey everybody, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the homestead. This morning I am taking a walk because I need to lose this. Oh wow, that looks really bad. I look pregnant because I got my phone in my back pocket. Just wipe that off, I think. Uh, that didn't work. So I'm gonna take a walk this morning and start trying to walk in the mornings, and I figure, hey, why not bring you guys along with me? We can catch up on everything that's going on. Uh, Maybe I'll see that fox. There's a fox that's been going around here. Hey, if you're watching this on the replay, welcome to the homestead. If this is your first time here, my name's Tracy. You can find me Tracy Hand on Facebook, tham141homestead.com, tham141homestead on YouTube, and Instagram, I believe. I gotta get a bunch of this. I got sticks all over the place because we had a windstorm that was really bad. If you watch my videos, you'll see I almost killed myself on the way back from taking care of a tree. Hey, who do I got? Dave Knight, Life in the Valley. Hey, good morning. Yeah, just cell service. I have my AT&T phone because I'm a drug dealer. No, I'm just joking. Verizon does not come in on the homestead, so I have to have an AT&T phone, and Verizon comes in everywhere else a lot better than uh, um, than AT&T. So I just got my hotspot on my AT&T phone, but yeah, it's just cell service. I'm lucky I've got decent cell service. There's a tower right down the road. Hey, Bon Mati. How's it going, Thor? I was saying I gotta lose this pouch here. Not the pouch, the gut. I would like my chest. Well, now wait a minute. I gotta be careful how I say this. I would like my belly to shrink to the point where my chest sticks out more than my belly. I don't want my chest to grow to stick out past my belly, but I want to, I don't know if I'll get that to happen. Yuck. Sorry about that, guys. That was gross. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at. Isn't that pretty? That is just gorgeous. That is just gorgeous. And then I got the sun rising in the back. Well, it's been up for a little while. um, yeah. So Fat Man has got to I got to start doing something to lose some weight. Meant to bring some water, but and there is nothing better than to wake up in the morning hearing the birds. There is something about the birds, the harmonics of their singing. There was an experiment that a farmer did playing, I believe it was classical music. And he grew his corn bigger and it had better yields. Kent Hovind talked about that a lot. There is something about the birds singing that stimulates growth in Vegetation. At least things are dry for you. I got 6 loads of gravel on the lane yesterday and still have to use. Wow. I gotta keep an eye out. There's a fox around. And not that I'm worried about him attacking me, but I want to attack him because he got into Misty and Alex's chickens a couple times, I guess. And that's just not good. Unfortunately, it's part of homesteading is protecting your homestead. Been doing a lot of thinking and studying on the gray man principle. Oh wow, that's new. That big pine tree, that's new. That was not there last time I came through. Wow. And that's probably from that windstorm before. It just took it a while to realize it was dead. How is that saying? You're already dead, you just don't know it. Well, I'm walking. This is a seasonal road. You can see the potholes, which is why I got to change the shocks in the back of the car. I got those in. I just need to get them from Rock Auto, not affiliated, but I need to put those in. But it can be real hard on your car. They do come through once a year in late spring, early summer. Okay, I'm going to say it late spring or summer, not necessarily early summer. And go over it with a grader and all that good stuff. And then my driveway, I have, I went over it with just regular bank run gravel. Absolutely, Dave. Protect our property from crackheads that want to steal our stuff. But just bank run gravel, which means basically they go to the gravel pit, they scoop out of the banker and put it on the truck. And then I went over it. Oh my gosh, listen to me breathe. Holy cow. Talk about out of shape. But then and then you spread it out and you got what you got, but it makes a good base. And then I went over it, most of it, with just straight driveway mix with the powder and deer tracks. Am I pushing him? There was well, I guess he's a yearling now. I've been seeing him. But and that helps me on the driveway. But you get off the driveway and off that's fresh. If you get off the driveway and off the lawn, and you get off the driveway with a car or the tractor and you're going to rut it all up. You get off the lawn with your feet and you're going to start sinking. But yeah, protecting our stuff. It's funny because the liberals say, oh, I can't believe you as a Christian believe that your stuff is worth more than somebody's life. I'm like, well, gee whiz, I can't believe that person would think that that my stuff is worth their lot more than their life. There used to be consequences for stuff, man. You break into a house and if you survive, you go to jail, have a record, can't get a job, all this stuff. Nowadays, it's like they don't even care because, well, New York's got the catch and release policy. The no bond release, no bail, no bond release, whatever. Ooh, the wind getting whippy. There's a school bus. Cruel bus, cruel bus. I was hoping I'd see that deer. I guess it would be considered a yearling now or close to it. Mama's gone. The Amish, they hunt to feed their families, which most people do, but Brown is down. Yeah, I got to talk to Alvin. That's his farm. That's his farm right there, and these are his fields. Got to talk to him. He called me up last week and asked if he could walk through my property and see if I got any logs worth taking, and I know I do. And I said, yeah, there's no problem with walking through. In this spring, I'm thinking about hiring a forester to come through and see what I've got. I think his name is Schmidt, that lives down the road from me there. He's a forester for Bailey's lumber mill. They're a big. Ooh, that wind be chilly. I better be burning some calories, man. When I get home, I better have a flat tummy. Trevor's wanting me to buy a bicycle. He says it's just easier on the knees and stuff. No impact. I'm like, dude, I'm walking. If I was jogging, that might be a different story, but I'm walking. But yeah, the problem is I have found that Tracy likes to, I like to get the equipment. You know, hey, I'm going to start riding bike. I'm going to buy a $100, $200, whatever bicycle. And I'm going to start riding every day, all the way around the loop. And the bike rots, never having been ridden. Oh, that sun is in an inconvenient place right now. Boy, it's gorgeous out here. Listen to the birds. I'm going to shut up first. There is a guy harassing me, and Alyssa shows up here to fight me. Hit me first. I beat him bad. He was in the hospital for a few months, but cost me $17,000, and I was charged. Oh, he was on your. He attacked you on your property. Yeah, dude, I apologize for the stupidity of our culture. But when it happens to them, then maybe they'll wake up. But by then, it's too late for us. Yeah. Unfortunately, if you're going to do anything today, violence is always the last resort. But if you're being attacked, you have to defend yourself, because once they're done with you, God only knows what they're going to do to your family. And I got a shirt. on Redbubble. And in fact, I think it might even be in my YouTube shop. Shoot, shovel, and shut up. We're not there yet. Thank God we're not there yet. Hopefully we don't get there until after I am off this earth. But yeah. Basically, from everything I can glean from the lawyers, I watch the USCCA videos on YouTube and stuff like that. From anything I can glean from the lawyers, the people who really know, is if you pull your weapon, if you pull your firearm, well, don't pull your firearm unless you are in imminent danger of your life or someone else is in imminent danger of theirs. You are protecting life and you have no other choice. We even in New York have a modified castle rule. You can defend yourself in your home. However, you must make every possible attempt to escape the situation first. So I have to run from my home, my last bastion of safety, before I defend myself. And even if you don't end up firing, say somebody breaks into your house, and you use your gun in self-defense. However, you don't fire. You draw. He sees your gun. He drops his weapons and surrenders. Even if you do that, you are probably going. You may, depending on the district attorney. And dude, have you seen the district attorneys in our state? They ran on, we're going to prosecute Trump. We're going to find something that he did wrong, and we're going to prosecute him. But you're going to be, you could very well be charged with menacing, deadly threats, and in New York, if it involves a firearm, this is for educational purposes only, YouTube. If it involves a firearm, and it is a felony involving a firearm, it is automatically a violent felony. So you become a violent felon. There's just not a lot of winning in this world anymore. They worry more about the criminals' rights than ours. Why? Because the criminals, some of them, aren't as stupid as they like to think everybody is, and they see, okay, it was a leftist policy that let me out of jail and to commit 6 other felonies, and they let me out of jail all 6 times. I'm going to vote that way. These are my kind of people. And I apologize if you lean to the left. That is fine. You are entitled to your opinion, your views, your beliefs. I try to stay away from politics on the page, but I'm not always very good at it. Oh. My legs are like, what are you doing? And I'm wearing my boots because it is, I can't see if I can see. Yeah, I'm wearing my cowboy boots, my work boots, because it is muddy and wet. And the what I have for sneakers Man, oh man, you breathe on them and they feel like they're soaked. It's starting to cloud up. I ran the generator all day yesterday. Well, because I did laundry. Well, I did 2 loads of laundry. So the batteries are pretty good, and I should be able to go a couple weeks if we keep getting a sunny day every other day, because the days are getting longer. I had to order more propane yesterday. My tanks are down to 15%. So that's going to be $500. I'm paying $2.898 a gallon. So $2.90 a gallon for, I think it's 240 gallons, something to that effect. And it lasts me just about the whole year. I think it might have been March last year, but I'm thinking it was like May when I had them come fill it last year. And I had this habit of this place on his own. A few years ago, I went to the Brockville pen for a few days waiting on bail. Guy that was in there with me went around robbing people and doing a bunch of drugs. They let him out thinking he would go to this place on his own. He dipped, and I'm not sure if they ever found him. Meanwhile, I was in there for a drunken bar fight. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. And almost any honest person will tell you. Anybody that tries to be honest and live lawfully will tell you, listen, man, the methed out meth head can get busted 6 times for making meth. But boy, oh boy, I do more than speeding with my car. They're gonna throw the book at me. There's some logs in those. Of course, and then what he doesn't use for logs would probably be firewood for him, I'd imagine. Always, homesteaders and Amish, always thinking about firewood. I want to take and try to firm up the area where we stack the logs for the firewood. I want to prepare the ground a little bit. Wow. I don't know if y'all can see that. That's a good sized deer, and it's very rounded fronts of the hooves. Which means it very likely could be a buck. There was a big buck and a small buck last year. And I don't know, for all I know, both of them lived. I know Misty didn't get it. I know I didn't get it. But I saw the small buck on the way home from my daughter's house with the deer that I shot at their place. And so So I saw a small buck, and that was after let's see, that was at the end of the season. In fact, I think that I'm in northern tier, and I think they're in southern tier of New York, and I'm pretty sure it was after season here and during season there, or something like that. So I'm pretty sure the small buck survived. Well, I saw him, unless somebody took him out of season. Oh, I forgot to show you guys where I almost died the other day. Oh. Wow. I don't know if I'm going to lose any weight, but this will darn sure make me tired and sweaty. My arm is tired from holding the phone. Oh. So yeah, thanks for stopping by today. The randomness of my thoughts. Hopefully it didn't throw you off too much. Boy, I got some leaning trees that are going to come down over this road. I need to take down. That's a nice cherry, but let's see here. Yeah, right here. Whoop. It's cat-eyed up and crooked and stuff. Not going to be much of a log. I'm trying to let everything go until I can get my arms around it and just touch my fingers. I dropped one of the more scary trees I have felled the other day. It was already barber chaired from the wind. Definitely got the, yeah, that'll do it. Be careful. Oh, holy cow. I need to fix my posted signs. Need to walk the property before all the underbrush starts filling out. Oh. Yeah, I got some firewood trees, that's a fact. And I've got some straight trees. They're just not, they don't seem to be doing much. Yeah, you have a good one too, Dave. Appreciate you stopping in this morning. I'm almost back to the driveway. Well, almost the end of the road where you can see where the road ends is my driveway. I don't know, I'm going to say 200 yards. Oh, I don't know. Tonight is Tuesday, so we're going to be recording the No Borders Homesteaders podcast. We do an hour on YouTube and an hour on Patreon, and boy, we have some fun with that. We only release 2 a month, 2 full podcasts. That's an hour on Patreon, on YouTube, and an hour on Patreon, twice a month. So that when things get busy, everybody can, say, hey, okay, we're not going to record this Tuesday night because, well, we're all tired. And, we got people that homestead, have full-time jobs, and families, big families. I mean, Remy, he's got 5 kids, works a full-time job and homesteads in 2 different locations. Annie from Back to Basics Homestead, she's got the kids and Fred and homesteading, and she's doing it alone. And let me tell you, it's not easy to homestead alone. In the event of an apocalypse, I'm pretty much screwed. I mean, food-wise, I'll be great because it is not very hard to put up food for a year for one person. I've got probably 2 years worth at my house right now. But you gotta sleep. You can't cover 2 sides of a building at once. And anything that decides to assault marauders or zombies, you got to take it one side at a time, and that just if they have any common sense, they'll lay down support fire on one side and assault you from the other because they realize you're only one person. Oh, the ice is going away. That's actually a really deep hole. I had to pull a 4-wheeler out of there a couple years ago. Back before I had the tractor, I had to use the truck. Anything gnarly like that, I mill into live edge. Anything nice furniture, grade lumber, and top go to firewood, doing along with slab wood. Yeah. Well, I've got enough junk trees because birch will grow. Beech will grow in the dark. Is a big joke, but and I've got beech growing all through here. So what I'm doing when I start dropping trees this year is I'm gonna what do you call it? I'm gonna clear out around the log trees, the good trees. But like I've got trees, a lot of my trees, like this big one right here. Okay, it's a beautiful tree. It's growing nice and straight, but it's got this crease, this split in it. That's a maple anyway. I'd be better off tapping that. I'd tap that. I didn't say that. Last month of how to Vietnamese man digging holes and setting traps all around the homestead. I dare. Yeah. Yeah. I would normally insert a joke about, I figure after the claymores in the trees take out the first wave, the second wave ain't going to come in so quickly. But that's a joke. I do not have. I have cats and chickens. Yeah. Because in the United States, that'll get you raided. Just talking like that. I watched a doc. Well, it wasn't a doc. What is this called? Wangdagoon. He does all these conspiracy things and stories. I mean, he's got some stories about 5 boys that went to a basketball game and then they were found like miles and miles away, and nobody knows what drove. Their remains were found. Nobody knows what drove them to it and stuff like that. But he did a thing on Ruby Ridge. I do not subscribe to the people of Ruby Ridge's ideology as far as fighting the government. I believe I fight the government in the ballot box. But and then this it turns out he did another video on Waco, Texas, the Branch Davidians. Come to find out, it was the same SRT team in Waco that did Ruby Ridge before. And naturally, it's the good old ATF. Screw you, ATF. I do obey all laws. I am not a criminal. Oh, no. What happened at Ruby Ridge was there was an undercover agent. Randy hung around white supremacists and stuff like that. And I say Randy because, oh my goodness, the guy who played the Ruby Ridge guy, his name was Randy. But he hung around white supremacists, and the ATF was investigating. They had a man undercover, and that man undercover said, "Hey, I need you to. I'll give you good money for some sawed-off shotguns." Well, that's a short-barreled rifle, and that is illegal under the NFA, I think it is, National Firearms Act. But anyway, which is entrapment. What he did was definitely entrapment. And so Randy delivered. Well, the guy turned it in, boom, boom, boom. They're like, okay, this guy hangs around. He's a white nationalist. He was never a member of that group. He just hung around in the parking lot with these guys because they shared ideology. And let's face it, Randy, up on that mountain, they were self-sufficient. They hunted for meat. They grew their own vegetables, and they roughed it. So when the guy had a chance, and especially back when it happened, $200 is a lot of money, or 150 a piece, or something like that. But so Randy comes out of the property. There's a car broke down. Him and his wife come out of the property. There's a car broke down. This couple having problems. He gets out to help them, and it's undercover ATF, and they arrest him, and he tells them, "You won't get me on net like that again." So they give him an appearance ticket. Now, what they did with the appearance ticket, okay, is he was like supposed to show up on the 8th. Then they changed it to the 9th, and then they changed it back to the 8th, I believe. And Randy, being an isolationist, being off the grid, did not have a phone. This was before cell phones. And he probably wouldn't have trusted cell phones anyway. This was a paranoid guy. And so he ended up not getting information. So he became a fugitive for missing the court date. And his lawyers screwed him big time. But he became a fugitive from justice. The ATF started sending teams. Wangdagoon. Search Ruby Ridge Wangdagoon on YouTube, and he goes in detail, and he takes months to study out stuff before he puts it out there. But so he takes and no, those were ATF agents. They sent in they put up cameras, okay, around the property. The ATF did, and then the ATF started sending to get eyes on. They sent in a team that was split into two teams, a support team and a recon team. Randy, a few days before, had found one of the cameras. Paranoid guy. I guess you're not paranoid if they're really out to get you. And so, and because of the mountain lions and bears and stuff like that, everybody carried a firearm over their shoulder when they were outside of the cabin. So the ATF agent said, "Hey, there's a dog there. I wonder what the response time and what that dog is going to react to." So they start throwing rocks at the dog. Hey, Rebel Cannon. Hey, Tammy. And they start throwing rocks at the dog. The dog reacts. The dog starts chasing them, chases them down to a place on the property called the Y. And at this point, the ATF agents are like, "We're not going to outrun a dog." So they get down. They're in ghillie suits. The dog going crazy. Randy goes down one way. They think he's after a deer. They're like, "Oh, okay, meat." And so Randy goes down one way where he thinks the dog is going to chase the deer on the normal route. And Sam, the son, and I think Harris is the other guy's name, go behind the dog. Well, the dog is coming at the ATF agents, and they're all in ghillie suits and camouflage. And one of them stands up and shoots the dog. The boy sees this, sees the dog get shot, and all he knows is there is a camouflage man that shot my dog. And he says, "You shot my dog, you son of a gun." Yeah. And shoots. And he ends up killing the ATF agent. He's shot in the arm. Now this is I think 14-year-old boy. He gets shot in the arm, turns around and runs away, gets shot in the back and killed. Meanwhile, Randy runs into the other team of the ATF, and he runs into the other team of the ATF, and they say, "Stop, Randy, ATF. We are, you're under arrest." And he says, "Not today," and starts running. As he's running, he hears the gunshots go off. Well, they had like, get back to the house if something happens. So the guys surviving, the ATF guys in ghillie suits, they go to a neighbor's house. They retreat to a neighbor's house and call it in. But they give a story. They say that the boy fired first. Later on, it comes out, no, the boy didn't fire first. It's when they shot the dog that the boy fired. And so now you have a federal officer that has been killed. That makes it FBI jurisdiction. The FBI comes in. Anytime a federal officer is killed, the FBI comes in. And that triggers the FBI comes in. Now, all the ATF is handing it off to the FBI, and they have made their paperwork to look like the guy that sold the sawed-off shotguns is Rambo, and he's a white separatist. He's part of a militia. All this other stuff. He's likely shooting at helicopters and all this other stuff that just wasn't true. And so the ATF or the FBI now, they change the rules of engagement where up to the point of a surrender demand, if you see any of the suspects with a firearm or any of the suspects, shoot on sight. if you see any family member, adult family member, with a gun, with a firearm, now remember, these people don't leave the house, the cabin, without a firearm, shoot to kill. After it's pretty, it's just they just screwed it all up. They made it way too easy. I mean, should was used in the OAE or the ROE, rules of engagement. Should shoot to kill. And Wang goes into all that stuff, and he actually shows a copy of the orders. So now the FBI is there, the ATF CERT team, and all that other stuff, and they put a sniper up there. And the mother goes out, and they get the son's body and put him in a shed so the animals won't get to him. Okay, and they're in the house. They're like, "Holy cow, man, this is nuts. What do we do?" You know, there has been no command, no talking at all by the ATF, other than the ones, or by the federal government, other than the ones that said, "Randy, you're under arrest," and tried to ambush him. And so they take and they're like, "Why aren't they talking to us?" So the next day or later that night, I forget what it is, the snipers are all in place and all that other stuff, and Randy says, "I'm going to go out and make sure there aren't any animals or bugs or anything on Sam's body." I mean, this is their son. You can imagine how distraught these people are. All he knows is that the federal government just shot my son. All over 2 sawed-off shotguns. And so he goes out, and as he goes to open the door, he reaches up to open the door, and this sniper, the same one from Ruby Ridge too, by the way, shoots him, and it's a through and through in the upper right shoulder. Hearing the shot, Harris runs out to help him in. And as they're running back into the house, the door has a bungee cord or a spring, so it would close automatically because, well, you don't want your door staying open. So the mother, holding the baby, the months-old baby, is holding the door open. The guy lines up on Harris, leads him, shoots through the door. The round goes through the mother and into Harris and wounds him. Everybody collapses on the floor because they're being shot at. And this is a cabin, man. My cabin's R11, man. It's not going to stop bullets. Not at all. And I don't know what theirs was made of. I see you, son. I see you, Kiki. So they're all crawling around. Well, the guy hears the baby start crying muffled, and he realizes his wife is laying on the baby. So he rolls her over and discovers she is dead. Now, Harris is shot, critically wounded. He is bad off. And as this is going on, there still has not been any communication. Remember, Randy doesn't have a phone. So they go up and they start trying to talk to him through a bullhorn. Well, you can't hear anything. They won't stick their head or the bullhorn out of the APC that they're in, so they can't hear anything. And so eventually they say, okay, what we'll do is we'll send him a phone on this little robot, this ATF robot. So they rig up the phone on the ATF robot and send it up there. It gets on the porch. Randy, tactically opens the door. I keep calling him Randy. I don't know if that's his name. But he tactically opens the door. They had a shotgun pointing right to where he had to hold that phone. I don't know if it was an oversight. This guy is no longer paranoid. He knows they're trying to kill him. So he wouldn't take it. So after a while, Bo Greitz, I guess he was a Green Beret, did a lot for veterans and stuff like that, and Randy or whatever his name is knew him, and he was somebody that they trusted in the cabin, that they trusted, and so he said, hey, we'll talk to him. So he tries the bullhorn thing from the PC, and he says, this is stupid, throws it down, gets out of the APC, and for the first time, somebody knocks on the door and asks to talk. This is where they find out the boy is dead. This is where they find out the mother is dead, because the sniper shot through a door. He did not know that he had hit anything. And that Harris is very badly wounded. Bo Greitz ends up talking him down, and he surrenders. And a couple years later, the same ATF SRT team that shot the dog, that shot the wife through the door, very relaxed rules of engagement, is in charge of the raid on Waco, the Branch Davidians. That was over. They had an FFL. They sold firearms at gun shows. That's what they did. They built and sold, but they did it all legally. David Koresh, I do not agree, associate, or anything else with this man. He is insane in the membrane. And he actually, when the ATF called to say, hey, he knew that they had undercover people in his thing, but it was a come as you want, come and go as you please type thing. And yeah, we're talking about Waco now. But he says, listen, come on down. We will show you our entire operation. We will show you all of our logs, all of our paperwork. Everything is above board. Remember, the Branch Davidians believed that they were going to have to fight the New World Order, whatever, in the end times, okay? But still, they were smart enough. They had to raise money. This FFL did that for them, the federal firearms license, okay? And the undercover guy, in his report, he says, yes, he saw lowers, AR-15 lowers, and he says, hey, yeah, guys, this is they could be making automatic weapons. Oh, and as soon as you mention automatic, the ATF gets a boner. So the ATF, instead of saying, hey, David, can we take you up on that offer to inspect your compound? And there's a lot of backstory. Wendigoon's got an awesome video on this. And instead of doing that, they do a full-on raid. David Koresh comes out and says, whoa, guy, with his hands up, he says, whoa, guys, what is going on? Hold on. And he's trying to neutralize the situation. He's trying to de-escalate what's going on and figure out what's going on. With his hands up, the SRT, ATF, SRT, there was a detachment of them tasked with shooting dogs. Insert meme here about the ATF and dogs. And they shoot. Not the best time to shoot. Kind of tense. You got 50 ATF agents aiming guns at a guy. Boom, shots fired. ATF agents hear shots fired, or hear the shot go off. They open fire. David Koresh is hit in the abdomen, in the arm, I believe. Goes back inside, wouldn't you? And the whole standoff goes on and on and on and on. And I would very much suggest you go to Wang Dagoon's website, YouTube channel, and watch these. My takeaway: don't do anything to upset the ATF. Just don't do it. You might want to, you might think it's necessary, but don't do anything to upset the ATF. Probably up to and including mentioning the ATF on live streams. Because they are a government, a federal regulatory branch of, they are more related to the IRS than anything, because that's what they do. They monitor and regulate tax stamps. If you wanted to own a automatic weapon or a weapon or weapon piece that is under the National Firearms Act, you can't do it. You can't own one unless you pay the government $200 and buy a tax stamp. And then if you don't, then the ATF comes in, but they're not coming at you because you have a undocumented automatic weapon or NFA restricted item. They're coming at you tax evasion with SWAT teams. And God forbid if you have a dog. And that right now in the United States Supreme Court, they are hearing cases because on the NFA items, suppressors, some people call them silencers. They are not silencers, but they should, a good one will take your, I would love to have one, but I don't, because I'm too cheap to buy the tax stamp. But a real good one will make a rifle, a smaller caliber rifle, where you don't have to wear hearing protection to shoot it. And then bump stocks was another thing that they added, the ATF added. And then for 10 years, they said, hey, these pistol braces are okay. And then they said, well, we're not going to allow them to be sold anymore, but if you already have one, it's okay. And then they said, okay, if you have one, you're a felon. Because they are saying that the pistol brace makes the pistol a short-barreled rifle, which is covered under the NFA. Granted, take this into account. Congress has not changed one law. Okay? Congress has passed no law saying these things are illegal. However, they're serious felonies, and like I said, a gun felony is a violent felony in the eyes of the government. And so they're going to the Supreme Court now, and they are fighting because there's this thing called, I think it's a champion ruling, that gives federal agencies a wide berth to interpret law. Okay, I don't know how they got from the NFA, no machine guns, no short-barreled rifles, to no suppressors, no bump stocks, no, well, the bump stocks I can kind of see, but pistol braces, that's just stupid. But the thing is these bureaucrats, unelected bureaucrats, with no changes in laws, are making people felons by changing their rules just out of the blue on a whimsy. And this is going to the Supreme Court. Hopefully the Supreme Court will rule in the plaintiff's favor, and the ATF and federal agencies will begin losing some of their regulatory power. They're not, I don't mind them having the power to enforce the law. My problem is when they start making laws. Because that's Congress's job or the state's job. And so, yeah, that's at the Supreme Court. Hey, I don't know what ilk you guys are on, but the SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, just ruled yesterday 9-0. Leave it to Donald Trump to get the Supreme Court, the liberals and the conservatives of the Supreme Court, to agree on anything. In a unanimous decision, said that states can't take someone off a federal ballot. Congress has to do that. So Donald Trump will be, we knew that. Just like we know his $350-some million fine for not doing a crime and helping other people make a lot of money is going to be overturned. Yeah, they're doing everything. I had a guy tell me the other day. I love this guy. He's a good guy. He goes to my church. He was telling me that Donald Trump was a felon. Nope. Donald Trump has never been convicted of a felony. Never. He has had indictments, which an indictment is where the government goes to a grand jury and they say, hey, is there enough evidence to pursue a trial? If they are indicted, then it goes to trial. They are still considered innocent until proven guilty. But it's like with the insurrection. He has never been found guilty. He's never been charged even with conspiracy to commit insurrection. Now, listen, guys, if you put a Democrat up there that holds my values on the issues, I'll vote for him. How did I get on politics? I'll vote for him. Kennedy, what's his name? Kennedy, the Kennedy guy there. I really like a lot of what he has to say. I really do. And if he was, if there was not a better candidate being proposed, then I would vote for the Kennedy guy over what we've got in office right now. Absolutely. Because now the White House has started this thing. Oh, Joe Biden he's full of vinegar and whirling around and full of energy at all the behind closed doors. Behind closed doors. A bunch of them are using that behind closed doors. Yeah, yes. New York City and probably state is losing billions. Locally, in my local area, we have the town of Ilion, which houses Remington Arms, and they are closing down and moving out of state. The state government has restricted them to the point they can't make money, and it's destroying a whole local economy. And now you got truckers We got truckers. God bless the truckers, man. I don't care if they're Canadian, American, Taiwanese. I don't care. God bless the truckers. But they are starting a movement. It's in the early stages yet, where they will not service New York City. I feel sorry for the people in New York City because that is turned to a cesspool. You have illegal aliens beating up cops, getting let out with no bail, and fleeing the state because I have no ties to this community. I'll just go. Um, you have, yeah, New York is a crap show, and uh, I'm just gonna, be that gray man. This is coming back. Yeah, yeah, manure. Oh man, yeah, where they spray the cops and stuff. Yeah, that is crazy, and that is because farming causes greenhouse gas. And that is because of the fake model. I think I put up a short or a reel the other day where a guy explains that if you don't cherry pick the information, it's actually way cooler than it was 10,000 years ago. Go figure. And because they use tree ring data to determine what uh, what the temperatures and CO2 levels and stuff like that were, and I'm not a scientist, I don't know. But I do know you can't say, oh, that's a bad sample because it doesn't fit the narrative. Now, come on. But because I do believe in climate change. The climate changes in cycles over years. I do not believe in human-caused catastrophic climate change. Yes, CO2 levels are rising and could be cyclic. And it is getting warmer. I mean, come on, man. It's the beginning of March and look at the mud. I got snow piles, but anywhere the snow wasn't piled, there is no snow. Okay. I'm out here in a sweatshirt. Okay, global warming. But I tend to believe that science has proven that the earth rotates around the sun in an elliptical orbit. In some years, our orbit takes us closer to the sun. And that, we're getting a tighter orbit for a little bit. And then it's usually about a 7-year cycle. Go figure, the number of God, the perfect number, 7. And then it'll correct itself. We have, because of the higher CO2 levels, we are actually getting parts of deserts greening up. All I know is they keep finding Viking swords and other artifacts that have been covered in snow and ice for hundreds of years. Absolutely. Yeah, somebody commented the other day, they said, oh, they found this Viking ship underground that has been buried for hundreds of years. And somebody commented, and they had a picture of the ground penetrating radar picture, and then they had an artist interpretation of what it would look like, what that should look like. And the guy says, gee, you'd think they would have found it sooner with the mast sticking out of the ground. Well, there's no mast sticking out of the mast sticking out. They also found a little lake here in Ontario, the mud in different carbon layers on the bottom. They can go back millions of years. Well, they say that they can go back millions of years. They're making assumptions. All of the dating, you can't study the past, okay? You can study the evidence left by the past, but you're studying it in the present. You're not studying the past, okay? So your perspective, your worldview, your biases make certain um make they make certain assumptions, okay? Number one, geologic time. Without geologic time, if you take that out of the equation, everything fits with actually a biblical account of creation. And the biblical account of creation does not go too far from other cultures. I think Darren can back me up on this. Other cultures' creation views. However, all the evidence would support 6 to 10,000 year old Earth, a young Earth. Carbon dating, where they measure the carbon-14. We know that carbon-14 is acquired during the life and after the death of a plant or animal or whatever. All things absorb carbon-14 at a certain rate, and then when it dies, it deteriorates at a certain rate. So we can figure out, knowing the rates, we can figure out how old this object is. The problem is you're assuming that the absorption rate of carbon-14 was always the same. For instance, you have a rock, but if the pressures of the earth were different, were higher, the rate of absorption of carbon-14 would be absorbed a lot faster. That item would have a lot more carbon-14 in it. Therefore, when you study it and say, oh, this has got a lot of carbon-14 in it, and it's been decaying at this rate for this long, so it's this old, you are making a mistake because one of your assumptions was wrong. The assumption that it has always absorbed carbon-14 at that rate. And the biblical account says that there was a canopy of water around the earth, and that would have changed. We would have giants, and they're finding giant skeletons all over the place nowadays, man. Science is confirming the Bible all over, archaeology especially, but anthropology and everything else. There's a company working to bring back the mammoth. I'll have to find it again. However, they're almost there. It's pretty neat due to the fact that they say the mammoth keeps the planet cooler. Let's think about this. Let's say a mammoth would weigh several tons. I don't know how much they weighed. They're bigger than cows. Can we agree they're bigger than cows? They're saying cow farts are destroying the environment, are going to kill us all. Can you imagine if we have a bunch of mammoths running around farting? They eat the same stuff the mammoths do. Or the mammoths eat the same stuff the cows do. There's a YouTube channel that talks about all the native legends, and the mammoth is talked about a lot, even possibly up to the, Keeps the planet cooler by walking around and packing down the snow to make ice, meaning it melts slow. But I'm sorry, when an elephant, which is akin to the mammoth, farts, it's going to fart a lot more than a cow. So if cow farts are going to destroy us. Can you imagine what mammoth farts would do? These people, they don't think things through. They don't think things through. Cow farts are going to destroy the earth. Yeah, guys. So I've been home walking in a circle. You probably noticed for quite a while. It's 8:50. In 10 minutes, I can have my coffee because I'm starting the intermittent fasting again. Pray for me. Oh my gosh, I've been on here an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, thank you guys for stopping into the homestead. I'm probably going to try to do this. Uh, okay, my intentions would be on days when I'm not busy, don't have to go somewhere, whatever, to take a walk in the morning before coffee. That's my intention. Reality will probably look different because I am a lazy fat man. You know, I'm not pushing that out at all. Oh my gosh, I'm fat because I'm fat. I'm fat. You know it. All right, guys. Today is Tuesday. Um, No Borders Homesteaders YouTube channel. It's free to subscribe, and we get together and we have some awesome times, some excellently fun times. Wickers is doing mammoth farts as we speak. You know, I've had a lot of gas lately. I've had a lot of gas lately. Wait, where? There we go. There it is. Yes, I cannot take at 5 o'clock at night or 5 o'clock in the evening. I go to. I cannot eat anything. All I can do is drink water. Until 9 a.m. the next morning. I can drink as much water as I want. And then at 9, between 9 and 5, I can eat anything I want. But yeah, and then on Patreon, I know Remy put up a chicken butchering video. I put up my deer butchering series on the Patreon channel, No Borders Homesteaders on Patreon. And then we have the after show where we're not held back by YouTube's rules, because YouTube can have some pretty strict rules on what you can talk about. Certain words that I probably mentioned several times in this little live stream get mentioned and they demonetize it, whatever. Patreon does not do that. It is $5 a month Canadian, which is 3 something American, to join the Patreon channel. But check out the YouTube channel. We have a lot of fun. No Borders Homesteaders. And then there's tham141homestead.com. Check out Thorhaven Farm. Check out the Wickershire Off-Grid Project Off-Grid. Who else? We got Life in the Valley. All these are such. I am surrounded by awesome creators. And I am so blessed. Little Homestead by the Beach, Rem's Family Farm, me.We Acres, Back to Basics Homestead, Bucket List Homestead. I am surrounded by the Canucky rookies, yo. So yeah, all right. Y'all have a great day. I'm gonna go get me some coffee. All right. Y'all have a great day, and God bless.